This is Tank's Vlog for April 8th, 2018, wrapping up the day in sports. NHL season, this was scheduled to be the end of the regular season, but due to a snow-out early in the year, one game remains. Now, Saturday was important because all playoff spots are now clinched. There's only one thing up in the air, and that's the Atlantic Division Championship, which the Bruins have destiny under control. After beating the Senators 5-2, and the Lightning lost in overtime 3-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes. If the Bruins beat the Panthers today, they will win the Atlantic Division. If they don't beat the Panthers, the Tampa Bay Lightning will win. And that's important for the New Jersey Devils because the Devils today basically mailed it in. They put a lot of people on the bench. The Flyers had already clinched their playoff spot and have the top wildcard spot, while the Devils have the second wildcard spot. Devils, they lost 5-3 to the Washington Capitals. Like I said, the Devils basically played it like just getting ready for the playoffs, resting everyone. And the Flyers beat the Rangers 5-0 to get into the playoffs. So if the Bruins win, the Devils play the Bruins. If the Bruins don't win, they will play the Lightning. Maple Leafs beat the Canadiens 4-2. Really a dreadful year for the Montreal Canadiens. Now 25 years since they won their last Stanley Cup. Maple Leafs are in the playoffs as the third seed in the Atlantic Division. The Islanders finished their season with a 4-3 win over the Red Wings. The Panthers did everything they could to make the playoffs, but they didn't get any help, as they beat the Sabres 4-3. Panthers do play on Sunday against the Bruins. See if they could finish their season with a win. The Jets down the Blackhawks 4-1. What a great season for the Jets. Second seed in the Central Division, second best record overall in the NHL. The Predators grabbed the Kiss of Death trophy today, beating the Blue Jackets 4-2. And the Blue Jackets actually are now the second wild card, the first wild card in the Flyers getting the third place in the Metropolitan Division. So we'll have a battle of Pennsylvania. And I will have an NHL preview next week for the first round of the playoffs. Avalanche beat the Blues 5-2 to grab the last playoff spot in the West. The Ducks 3-0 winners over the Coyotes. The Flames burnt the Golden Knights 7-1. I bet Las Vegas probably had a lot of players off in that game. The Oilers beat the Canucks 3-2, in a shootout. The Stars over the Kings 4-2, and the Wild beat the Sharks 6-3. NBA is also similarly coming down to the wire. While the East, everything is pretty much locked up. You'll just have maybe a few teams adjusting seeds down the stretch in the last few games. The West is wild, 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 as a game and a half separates 4th from 9th and out of the playoffs. In this mad scramble, well, the Nuggets put the Clippers to rest with a 134-115 win. The Thunder did their part, beating the Rockets 108-102. The Pelicans did their part, beating the Warriors 126-120. And the Spurs did their part, winning 116-105 over the Trailblazers. Now, all three of those losers have clinched playoff spots. In a meaningless game, meanwhile, the Nets beat the Bulls 124-96, and the Bucks beat the Knicks 115-102. The situation is this. The Jazz are 46-33. We got the Pelicans, Spurs, and Thunder all at 46-34. And the Timberwolves and Nuggets are 45-35. It could not get any tighter. It's Masters Sunday today. Isn't it nice? You're watching golf on TV. You hear the azalea, see the azaleas, you hear the birds chirping, the fake birds chirping on CBS's master coverage, and it's cold as hell in New Jersey. Rory McIlroy had a big Saturday and is now just 3 strokes back of Patrick Reed, who has been steady and consistent in this tournament, with 3 straight rounds under 70. Now, the two staged an incredible duel a couple of years ago at the Ryder Cup. So, they'll be playing together on Sunday, with Reed going in with a 3-stroke lead. Now, if either of these guys slip up, you'll have Ricky Fowler, John Ram, and Henrik Stenson all within 7 strokes of the lead. Maybe they can make a little run, make this things interesting. But the focus will be on Patrick Reed and Rory McIlroy. Now, Patrick Reed went to college at Augusta State, so he definitely has the home course edge. So it'll be interesting to see if what happens on Sunday, if these two continue their good play, they'll definitely be into challenging, and they'll be the ones that will decide who takes home the green jacket. Baseball, the Mets continue to look great. Another positive win. They've taken at least 2 out of 3 in the series. They could go for the sweep of the Nationals on Sunday night baseball. Of course, Sundays have not been kind to the Mets. I mean, just another great game. Steve Matz pitched well, although stealing bases was, holding runners on base was a little bit of an issue. Every time the Mets fell behind, they answered. And Jerry's Familia, with his best outing of the season, 5-out save. Mets beat the Nationals 3-2. And like I said, right now, everything is positive for the Mets. You just can't be happier. And Todd Frazier, his batting average may not be the greatest, but is it me, or for someone that bats 200, that every single one of his hits seems to be important? Every single one. He was involved in the Mets' comeback again today with a couple of big hits. Just every time he gets a hit, it seems like it leads to something. Meanwhile, the Yankees bounced back off an ugly loss on Friday, beating the Orioles 8-3. Right now, they're a little banged up, and Aaron Boone looks like a deer in the headlights. I mean, he looks like he's in over his head. I mean, it's early at the Yankees. You really can't make any judgment at 5-4. But with the Red Sox off to a 7-1 start after just dumping the Rays 10-3, Yankees better watch out. Things could get ugly fast, especially if the trends don't go well for them. And the Red Sox at 7-1, they've had a lot of fortune. They've played just 2 utterly dreadful teams. The Rays and Marlins could be the worst 2 teams in baseball. The Rays are at 1-7. They just don't look good at all. They don't look good at all. The Tigers beat the White Sox today 6-1. The Mariners beat the Twins 11-4. And these are the teams. There's not really a lot of teams that are off to good starts, great starts. A lot of mediocrity. You had the Cardinals beating the Diamondbacks 5-3. The Cubs over the Brewers 5-2. The Royals blanked the Indians 1-0. Indians off to a little bit of a slow start. Only run in that game came from a Lucas Duda home run. It was in the ugly game of the day. The Phillies 20-1 over the Marlins. Derek Jeter, you're a con man. The Giants beat the Dodgers 7-5 in extra innings, 14 innings. Andrew McCutchen had 6 hits and 7 at-bats, including the game-winning walk-off home run. It was the Reds 7-4 winners over the Pirates. The Astros needed extra innings to break through Alex Bregman getting the game-winning hit as they beat the Padres 1-0. Great start there for Garrett Cole, by the way. Rangers beat the Blue Jays 5-1. Rockies beat the Braves 3-2. And it was the Athletics beating the Angels 7-3. Today's 3 stars are Mark Janikowski of the Flames with 4 goals in the win over the Vegas Golden Knights. Andrew McCutchen of the Giants with 6 for 7, a walk-off home run, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored as the Giants beat the Dodgers. And Claude Giroux had a hat trick for the Flyers as they clinched the playoff spot by beating the Rangers, who after the game told Alain Vigneault, "Au revoir, au revoir." Today's birthday shout-out goes to Celtics legend John Havlicek, who turned 78. And we take a look back to 1978 when the Celtics seriously thought about moving to San Diego. The NBA said, no, you're not going to do that. So they arranged for the Celtics owner and the Buffalo Braves owners to swap, and Irv Levin was able to move a team to San Diego, and that was the Buffalo Braves. It was 40 years ago today that the Braves played their final home game at the Aud in Buffalo. Buffalo's changed a lot in 40 years. There was one time where baseball even considered expanding a team to Buffalo. But you can't imagine any Major League Baseball ever putting a team in Buffalo. Nor can you imagine the NBA coming back to Buffalo. So take a look back at the final game of the Buffalo Braves in Buffalo, which was a loss to the New York Knicks. Good day.